Say it with me now. You can ram it all day. You can ram it all night. You can ram it as champions of the National Football League, proving you can trade all of your draft picks and win the Super Bowl. Welcome in the beginning of another edition, another week of the Ben Maller Show. We are in the air everywhere as we slip under the radar, coast to coast, border to border, and beyond on the vast and mighty powerful microphones of FSR, emanating live from the whale. How do you eat a whale? One bite at a time. The Fox Sports Radio studios at a secret location somewhere in the Northwoods. Now, when you listen to sports talk radio, sometimes you'll listen, you're like, I wonder what the bozo on the radio is going to talk about. But this is not one of those times. You don't need to worry about what the bozo on the radio is going to talk about. Our lead this hour and every hour on the hour, coming from Super Bowl 56, Al Michaels calling his final game on NBC. They're kicking him out. He's too old for NBC. They got to slide over Mike Tirico because that's just what we want. Chris Collinsworth there. He was doing his normal cheerleading for the Bengals. Joe Burrow in Cincinnati versus Matthew Stafford and L.A. for all the marbles. The Lombardi on the line in the hood in Inglewood. A $5 billion palace of pigskin put together just for events like this. It's kind of a big deal in these parts. They even put a man-made lake out in front of the stadium. So I don't know if you watched the game. I would assume that if you're listening to a sports talk radio show a few hours after the game that you probably did watch the game. The chances are pretty good as the party continues around Los Angeles. But there is no guarantee. So Matthew Stafford finding Cooper Kupp in the end zone with $1:25 left on the clock. And it turned out to be the game-winning touchdown. The Rams storming back in the fourth quarter yet again to edge the Bengals 23-20, take home the first Los Angeles Super Bowl win. We don't count that one in St. Louis. In fact, it's almost like the Rams never went to St. Louis the way the St. Louis Rams were never talked about over the last week or so. But the Bengals had the opportunity. They had the ball back at midfield, and it was a 4th down and 1 play for Cincinnati. Rather than run the ball with limited time left, they decided to throw the ball. Aaron Donald, monster mashing, sacking. Down goes Burrow. Down goes Burrow. And that's it. The turnover on downs to end the game. And the Rams behind Cooper Kupp win the Super Bowl. Kupp named the MVP with some controversy, might I add, as the MVP. More on that later. But let us discuss the question. Does this win say more about the Rams or the Bengals? So the answer here is the Rams. So I've got virtuoso, hockey mascot, and godfather. And we will tie all of these things together into a wonderful-looking package. Now, A, for all of the talk about the Rams buying their way to a Super Bowl, they not only talk the talk, they walk the walk. All right? So I know haters are going to hate and all that. We know how that works. But they made more plays than this upstart Cincinnati team, and the Rams clearly deserving to take the title. Now, who can strut around like a glorious peacock with the tail feathers up for the world to see? Well, that would be the much-maligned Matthew Stafford, who had been tarred and feathered prior to the season. He's a bum! You told me he's a bum! I remember when the trade went down, and we were in here yapping in the Magic Radio box, and I was under siege from people telling me, oh, he's a loser. He's no good. Many geniuses in the media, not just the dumb people that call the show, many geniuses in the media convinced that he was contaminated, Matthew Stafford, would never win anything because he had ties to Detroit football, the Detroit football team. Stafford had been infected with lionitis. And when you have lionitis, you can't escape lionitis. It's a fatal disease. Well, apparently he found the antidote in glorious fashion in front of millions and millions of people on the big stage killing the demons of football seasons gone past. He had never won a playoff game before. And it's not that surprising to me because we thought this was going to happen. We're happy that it happened and all of that. But it is wild how many times people who think of themselves as smart people get suckered into this. I heard the same bullcrap about the buddy of Stafford, Clayton Kershaw, a few years back with the Dodgers. He's a choke artist. He'll never win anything. He's a loser. And, it shows you the low information fan that just doesn't understand. And, of course, Kershaw won a World Series, hardest World Series of all time, 2020. Most teams ever in the playoffs. With all the adversity, the Dodgers winning it with Kershaw as one of the central figures in that playoff run. Here the Rams are. All right, and you had to go through the gauntlet to get here. And Stafford, though, with the virtuoso performance, stapling and securing his place as a legitimate big-time playoff performer, a 15-play, 79-yard game-winning drive, a la Joe Montana or Tom Brady. He threw a couple of interceptions. One of them was not his fault at all. It was off the receiver. You're an NFL receiver. It goes through your hands. You catch the pass. That's a bad job by the receiver on that play. But it didn't cost the Rams. The interceptions did not. The Bengals punted after the first interception in the end zone. And then the second interception, Cincinnati only got 3 points. So no harm, no foul. The defense for the Rams picking up the slack. But it's really a bummer for the Trolls. And I was hoping you'd get your chance to crawl out and do a little victory lap. But unfortunately, not your year, Trolls. Not your year. You told me, watch out for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. I remember, Rams have to play the Monday night game. Kyler Murray's so good. You were licking your chops, you Trolls, about that. And then, the Rams blew out the Cardinals. But you said, you know what? Tom Brady's the GOAT. And he's at home, and he's going to work his match. There's no way Matthew Stafford can beat Tom Brady. Ben, you're a loser. That's why you're doing overnights, you told me. Okay? Well, the Rams won that game. But wait, no. Jimmy G and the 49ers are the Rams' daddies. Sean McVay can't do anything with the Niners. You told me that. You promised me that the Rams are going to lose to the Niners. And it was San Francisco overtaking L.A., the 49er fans, hostile takeover. I was there. I saw it. All the red 49er jerseys, all the Niner hats. They were strutting around before the game, the Niner fans. It was just a foregone conclusion they were going to win the game. And then, in the fourth quarter, up by 10, yeah. How about Joe Burrow? No, it's Joe Burrow's time, Ben. It's not the Rams. It's Joe Burrow. He's the next big thing. Joe Burrow's the next big thing. He's the star. He's the new face of the NFL. Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl. Every step of the way, the Trolls told me, you know what? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The Rams, every step, cut them off at the pass. And now the Trolls, like the cockroaches they are, exposed to light. You know when a cockroach sees the light, when they're proven wrong, the troll, they run and hide in any cracks and crevices to avoid being called out. But in your face! All right, now part B of this. The Rams didn't monster mash their way with blowout wins, which makes it more agonizing for the haters. They did it the harder way. It was a rocky road, nail-biting and skin-picking performances here. And the Rams in this Super Bowl had every ready-made excuse. They didn't end up having to use any of them as the fall guy. No scapegoats required when you win the game. And that makes this like a hockey mascot, the epitome of gritty. This particular Ram team, Gritty the mascot of the Flyers there. The Rams lost the dynamic Odell Beckham Jr., and we told you, this guy would have been the MVP of the Super Bowl had he not had a non-contact knee injury early in the game after scoring a touchdown. And you tack that on to the already weakened offense, started the game without their top tight end, Tyler Higbee, didn't play in the game, played without their backup tight end, didn't have Odell Beckham. The Rams had zero running game. And when I say zero running game, they're the first team in Super Bowl history to do as poorly as you can do at the run and still win the game. They ran the ball 23 times, the Rams, for 43 yards. They averaged 1.9 yards and a cloud of dust. And the Bengals with Joe Burrow on the other side. Oh, big bad Joe Burrow. But in the end, it was Stafford to Cooper Kupp in the clutch. And they stand on top of the mountain. Now, the last word here. So much to the dismay of many, we can now put Matthew Stafford in the captain clutch category of the postseason, and you can put him alongside the names of Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Matthew Stafford and the Rams, the personification, the Rams, of performing under the immense pressure, the pressure cooker of the postseason. They didn't need the Heimlich maneuver, not one time. There was no swan dive here for the Rams, and this has been a high-wire act without a safety net most of the postseason. We mentioned they had the laugher against the little guy, Alligator Arms Murray, in the Cardinals. But ever since then, it was a white-knuckle, buckle-your-seatbelt, roller coaster of a ride all the way through, the rest of the way. And L.A. now, the L.A. Rams of this year, the first team in NFL history to win 3 games by 3 points or fewer in a single postseason. Tom Brady didn't do it. Joe Montana didn't do it. Terry Bradshaw didn't do it. Any of the legends of the NFL. It's Matthew Stafford and the Rams beat the Bucs, 49ers, and Bengals by 3 or fewer points. And that 15-play drive orchestrated by Matthew Stafford, the longest go-ahead drive, most plays required in the fourth quarter in Super Bowl history. We just witnessed greatness. We just witnessed the modern Montana, the modern Brady here, now that those guys are both retired. And as they say in The Godfather, bada bing, bada boom. Get out the confetti and the balloons, Grandma. It's parade time in La La Land. I understand the natives are already celebrating with some unfortunate civil unrest there. So act like you've been there before, please. I know the LA Rams have never been there before. Anyway, here is Sean McVay on the end of the game, and what an ending it was. The defense stepping up there, and Aaron Donald on a 4th and 1, making the play so the Bengals turn it over on downs. McVay was slightly happy with that.
I promise you guys, I was mic'd up so you guys can hear. When it was the 4th down and you could see they got into the shotgun and they were probably not going to run the football, I said Aaron's going to close the game out right here, and he is the effing man.
Effing? Oh, he's the fun man. No? Effing? I wonder what that means. Well, one of the great meetings in NFL history happened in Cabo. That is where the alleged meet and greet, the chance meeting of Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford at a resort in Cabo. And Stafford made his pitch, his elevator pitch to go to the Rams, get me the F out of Detroit. McVay said, okay, over some nice cocktails there, and the rest is history. And McVay, well, he's smiling like a Cheshire cat, talking about the belief he had in his quarterback.
Yeah, a lot of trust in him. You wanted to put the game in, one of your best players' hands, the guy that you feel like has led you to where, for us to be able to get into this position, Jordan. Give the Bengals credit. They did a great job. We didn't run the ball very well. Not a lot of good situations I put our guys in, but when you had enough representative examples, you're saying, let's not bang our head against the wall again.
Yeah, well, you can now bang your head against the wall because you've won the Super Bowl. All right, one more. The MVP of the Super Bowl is Cooper Kupp. He was not highly decorated coming out of college. He didn't play at Alabama or some big bad SEC school. He went to a rather small school in the Pacific Northwest, and here he is standing atop all the other big-name receivers in the NFL as the MVP. And he apparently, back in the day, he saw this coming.
In 2019, we walked off the field that last time after losing to the Patriots. I wasn't able to be a part of that thing. I don't know what it was. There's just this vision that God revealed to me that we were going to come back. We were going to be a part of a Super Bowl. We were going to win it. And somehow I was going to walk off the field as the MVP of the game.
Well, there you go. It's preordained. See that? God likes the Rams more than the Bengals. Cooper Kupp just admitted it. He just told you right there. The big fella upstairs there, a Ram fan. Who knew?